All right, everyone, welcome back. Void Touched here. We've got ourselves a new update from Bungie, and it's titled Destiny Content Vault Update. So it looks like we're finally going to be getting some updates about the Destiny Content Vault. There have been a lot of rumors circulating around, a lot of people thinking that some things were going to be vaulted. I kind of figured there would be. Witch Queen scene's pretty big. And we've got our Forsaken Barons from the Tangled Shore, and we've got the little promotional art they had when Forsaken came out. So it looks like it's going to be the Forsaken campaign that's getting vaulted. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Let's talk about last summer. They introduced the Destiny Content Vault, created to help achieve a vision of the game through our trio of upcoming expansions and beyond. Cycling content into the DCV. They can bring you new activities and adventures, weekly updates, activities to enjoy, and push the narrative forward. The impact of the DCV can be seen throughout Destiny 2. Very true. Popular new activities such as Battlegrounds, they are really fun. It's Horde mode. It is a really fun version of Horde mode for Destiny, and I actually really do enjoy it. They've persisted throughout year 4. The innovations that have made routine experiences of Destiny better for every player. True. The way the story content is set up, the way the bounties are set up, the way the mods are set up, and things like that, it is very fun, even for casual players or those that didn't necessarily find the gameplay that engaging. People are having a lot more fun now than they did. Everything's a lot more clear. It's a lot more straightforward, a lot less convoluted of like, hey, you need to do this mission, so you need to go over here and then go over there and go over here to these places or do these things that don't really apply. Now the story missions are very clean, straightforward, clean, very cut. You have weekly setups. It's really nice. The DCV did provide a lot of technical breathing room. Basically, they were able to remove a lot of stuff to allow processing power to go to a whole lot of other different areas. The UIs, patches, loading times, enemy AI itself, that sort of thing. Granted, there are still some enemy AI that are a little wonky. There are a lot less of that. So we're going to go ahead and go over the updated today we wanted to give you an update on our content strategy for the near future of Destiny 2 as we pave the way for the arrival of Witch Queen expansion. Okay. Looking ahead, looking beyond, or looking behind. Behind. Following the release of our 30th anniversary celebration in December, Year 5 of Destiny 2 launches on February 22nd, 2022. I love it. With the release of the Witch Queen expansion and Season of the Redacted, the first of the 4 seasons that will come your way beginning in 2022. In addition to all that brand new content, we're bringing a carefully curated selection of content out of the DCV, including a classic raid, 2 PvP maps from Destiny 2, and 1 classic PvP map from the original Destiny. We're excited to share more details on all of this in the months ahead. Okay, so a classic raid, so that's got to be one from Destiny 1. Because if they were going to say bringing back a raid from Destiny 2, they'd specifically say a previously vaulted raid or a Destiny 2 raid instead of classic raid, which they kind of already told us. So it's either they said it's going to be one of the big raids, so that immediately takes out Crota's End, because that's more of a dungeon, and I don't think they'd release that as a dungeon because I don't think that they would effectively make fun of or meme their own work. I could see them combining that with maybe King's Fall, because that's how it was apparently originally supposed to be. Crota's End and the strike where you fought. Is it Fogoth? I think it's Fogoth at the end of it. The ogre that's chained to the ground that breaks free, that there's a nightmare of in Destiny 2. And then the King's Fall raid were all originally conceptualized as one big thing. So I think it'd be really cool to do all of that at once, but they probably wouldn't, because that's doing a lot of work that's like revamping a lot of their work that they've already completed. 2 PvP maps from Destiny 2 and 1 from Destiny 1. I mean, it is good to see that we have some PvP maps coming our way. I just don't understand why they don't have a team that just does PvP maps. I mean, this is Bungie. They had fantastic maps with Halo. Granted, they had the backing of the Microsoft money at that point, and in Destiny 1, the early days of Destiny 2, they had the backing of Activision. Even still, this is Bungie. I'm pretty sure they've got somebody sitting there who can design a badass PvP map. And I would have much preferred to see one map from Destiny 2, one map from Destiny 1, and a brand new map coming out in this time frame. I know they say we're going to get a brand new map, but in like a year. I'm like, I don't I don't understand the thought process there. It really feels like they should have put more resources into that. I'm a single player guy. I like the narrative. I'm a PvE kind of individual, but the PvP side is kind of, I feel like they're not getting enough content. I feel like they're not getting enough stuff to warrant it being a PvP game. I don't know. Tell me what your thoughts are, but I know a lot of people are kind of upset about the PvP side of it, and I really wish that there was a little more movement on it. I understand they're super busy, they're expanding, they're doing a whole lot of stuff. I'm super excited for what's coming next, but man, it kind of feels like not enough to me. Vaulting in year 5. So beginning on February 22nd, the Forsaken campaign and the Tangled Shore destination will enter the DCV. Note, the Dreaming City will continue to be available. Okay. Along with year 4 seasonal content, including the Presage and Harbinger exotic missions. So, okay. Let's take a look here. That is that entire area. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to lead. So we've had a lot of story things in there. We're talking about killing Spider. So that may very well be what's happening. Petra and them maybe going in and executing the dude, or starting a war with Spider. And that's why they're vaulting the Tangled Shore. We understand the unique value of these definitively Destiny experiences and are investigating ways to reprise and create new, exciting, exotic special missions within Destiny 2 for the future. Because, yeah, by vaulting this, there's going to be a whole lot of exotics that are no longer going to be available. There was already a swath of exotics that just got removed from the loot pool and got added to the kiosk in the tower because of this. But we're going to lose a lot more. Thankfully, like, if they got rid of the Dreaming City, they would have gotten rid of the raid. Interesting. Okay. So, vaulting this content will allow us the space to launch the Witch Queen expansion and its new Throne World destination, as well as new features like weapon crafting, the new Legendary Difficulty campaign option, the new Glaive weapon archetype, plus all the additional content we have planned for the 4 new seasons to come starting in February. So, let's start with, let's break that down a little. Let's break it down. First thing they say here is they're making space for the Witch Queen expansion and its new Throne World destination. Okay, 1. They list 1 destination here. Okay, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to get another one. There's a lot of rumors that we may get Old School Mars, because we've seen a lot of actual maps of that in the trailers for on Ikora's little corkboard. But this specifically says that they need to make room for the expansion and Throne World. So they already plan on having to put something away. They've said many times that they have a huge worry about the size of their game and the download and how much it takes up on a PS4 or 5 or an Xbox. So I understand that. I'm hoping that the Throne World is big enough to justify taking away the Tangled Shore and everything that offers, because that is a sizable chunk. We have 8 different special missions against enemies. We have the Grandmaster where we fight Fikrul. We have almost an entire enemy archetype that is tied to the Tangled Shore. Where else is the scoring except the Dreaming City? And they're only there once every 3 weeks. They're not in any other strikes. They're not in any other locations. They're in the Presage mission, but as it says up here, Presage is going away. They're in the seasonal activities that we have now, but once again, season 4 content is going away. Or year 4 seasonal content is going away. So that's a huge amount of stuff they're taking out. Now we're getting weapon crafting, which is super dope. I'm going to be trying to break down everything I can in a future video, showing everything we've seen about weapon crafting so far, the table and what we can think that they mean and how they've told us in any interviews and stuff like that. So if weapon crafting is that intricate of a system, then I totally understand wanting to also make room for that. Now, the biggest question I have is weapon crafting replacing the current weapon meta? Or are we still going to have weapons that drop with random rolls out here? And we're going to have the ones that we have to come and craft at the table. Like, how is it going to break up? Because they've been selling a lot of like rare and hard to get weapons from Xur or at Xur. And it doesn't matter what rolls they have on them. Now they're in your collections. And if it's going to be anything like it was with Armor System, then you might be able to pull old weapons out of your collections and start weapon crafting them. I don't know. That's a lot of wishful thinking, but we'll go over that in a different video. So depending on how intricate it is, they may also be vaulting their current weapon system. New legendary difficulty campaign option. So at first I'm thinking, okay, you're just increasing the damage that an enemy does, or you're increasing the difficulty of just the way things go. I mean, typically when you think extra difficulty, damage is what you think first. Damage you give, damage you take. If they're doing something extra, like more enemies, better AI, more difficult situations, champions, you run in more of the Hive Guardians types of things, and I can totally see why they need to have that completely cut out, especially if they have it set up, because I believe there was... No, it wasn't in Destiny 1. There was another game that I played that if you played on easy or normal, then the levels played out a certain way. But if you played on hard or very hard, then at certain points in the level, you would have an extra little room you'd have to go do. You would have an extra area you'd have to go into. So if the legendary campaign sections of Destiny 2 are going to be that detailed, I'm 100% down for it, and that does make sense to list here. Now, the new Glaive weapon archetype, I don't know why they have it listed here. I feel like that's a little bit of fanfare. A weapon archetype like that, you don't need to vault an entire location for a single weapon archetype, even if it is a first-person melee weapon. So this feels out of place. It feels like they're just throwing like, hey, here are all the new things coming after we get rid of this like quintessential Destiny world. So I'm looking forward to the Glaive weapon, but it feels like it's a little shoehorned in here just to kind of get a hype-related reaction. Plus all the additional content we have planned. So we know that they're going to have 4 seasons, and we're all going to be super jazzed about that. So yeah. Okay, there's a lot of seasonal content being removed already, so the seasonal stuff also kind of feels a little yeah, no kidding. But at the same time, they could be bigger, they could be smaller. I expect all of them to be different, especially with the addition of the throne world and the ability to go there. So we will see what happens with that. I'm super excited. All right, so while most of the year 4, I keep doing that. While most of the year 4 seasonal content will be vaulted, certain year 4 content will persist into year 5. Okay, including the Proving Ground Strike, that's a given, and the Battlegrounds activities. Hell yeah. Beginning in February, the existing Battlegrounds will be combined with strikes into a new Vanguard Operations. Please. Playlist that will be free for all players. Excellent. In addition, the Warden of Nothing Strike will remain in the game and will be available to all players for free. All right. Lastly, all of Spider's currency exchange function will be taken over by Master Rahul in the tower when the Tangled Shore is moved into the DCV. Finally going to give Rahul some love. Excellent. I am glad that we're going to be keeping the Battlegrounds. The Battlegrounds actually are really fun. And while I don't do the Battlegrounds right now because there's not really much of a point for me to do them outside of just wanting to grind something, putting them into the Vanguard Operations where they'll be mixed into the strikes when we have to go do for our bounties and stuff like that, I think is a really good choice. The Battlegrounds it's just an onslaught of enemies. It's an endless run of enemies, and I would love to eventually see something similar for all enemy types. The Battlegrounds works very well. Just pure running and gunning against the Cabal is a very Cabal thing. So hopefully we get some similar type stuff that eventually is focused on the other enemy races, that is more tailored to them. And even if we don't, even if it's the same, if we get stages that are more tailored to them, like, hey, here's a battleground in where you're fighting nothing but the Vex, and it's all Vex themed, and there's random portals that you can run around in, or you're fighting the Fallen and there's skiffs. that every now and then you can jump across the top of a skiff to get to a different part of the stage so that you can fight at this spawn point or that spawn point. Or the Taken, of course, the Taken blights are so overused, but it's a good example. Taken blights are all over the place that are like making you sick or making you suppressed, and in order to no longer be suppressed, go destroy the blights, sort of thing. So I think there's a lot of stuff that they could do to add other races to the battleground formula. Relive the campaign. All right. The Forsaken campaign will be available for free for all players from December 7th, 2021 until it enters the DCV in February 2022. All right. So if anyone wants to play the Forsaken campaign and has not shelled out the money to buy it, it will be free. If you planned on buying anything, don't. It will be free. I know a few of my friends that just bought everything, and now one of the things they bought is going to be free in 2 months exactly, so I kind of feel bad for them. All right, Forsaken pack beginning on December 7th. The Forsaken pack will be available for purchase and will include access to the Last Wish raid, the Shattered Throne dungeon, as well as access to all the Forsaken exotics. The Forsaken pack will also include three Forsaken ciphers that can be used to instantly unlock your choice of Forsaken exotics, not including raid or dungeons exotics, via the exotic kiosk in the tower. Everyone who previously purchased Forsaken will automatically own the new Forsaken pack and will receive 3 Forsaken ciphers directly in their inventory. If you already have every Forsaken weapon, these ciphers will be converted to Ascendant Shards. All right. So, I do still feel bad for them. At the same time, they're now going to get basically 3 free exotics because they've already bought it, so it's going to be put right in their inventory. And if they already have those, they're just going to get Ascendant Shards. Me, I'm just going to get an Ascendant Shards. Bam! And I'm super excited about it because I love Ascendant Shards. Golf balls are great. But now that GMs are back, I might be farming those out. But we'll find out. All right, 2022 will be here before you know it, and we're so grateful to all of you who have helped make 2021 such a memorable year for Destiny. We had some amazing experiences together, whether building new adventures for you to enjoy or playing alongside our fellow Guardians. Destiny is growing, and we're incredibly excited for the future, including the near-term launches of our 30th anniversary celebration, the Witch Queen expansion, and Season of Redacted, as well as those stories that are a bit further away, including Lightfall, The Final Shape, and everything that follows. Whether you're a new Light or a longtime fan, this is shaping up to be one of the most exciting periods in Destiny history. Thank you for being with us for the ride and for being part of all the stories yet to come. All right. So I think that this is some very interesting stuff. It's unfortunate that they're vaulting the Forsaken campaign, but at the same time, I expected something like that. A lot of people expected the EDZ to be vaulted, and I never did. The EDZ that's what the tower is tied to. The tower's assets are tied to the EDZ's assets. That's why they used to be kind of, associated in the map. So I don't see them vaulting the EDZ without a lot of work. If they were going to do that, they would release a whole new tower. Whenever the EDZ gets put away, if and when, we're going to get a brand new tower because it's going to be part of like completely different assets. So if that happens, it will either happen in Lightfall or it will happen in the Final Shape. Or it just might not happen throughout the entire Light saga. The Light and Darkness saga may have the same tower in Destiny 2, and then when we finally move to whatever's after the Final Shape, that may be when they change and update a whole lot of stuff. Who knows? We'll see. That's half the fun. But all right, everyone. Thank you for checking this out. Looks like we've got a lot of really cool stuff coming our way because of the Destiny content vault. So keep it right here with the Void Touched. I'll be streaming as much as I can for Destiny, especially with having the Grandmasters back up. We're going to be looking for the TWAB later today. And yeah, hope you all have a great day.